this video, I'm going to show you how to make emotional piano beats, otherwise known as pain beats or rod wave type beats. So the first thing you're going to want to do is actually open a piano plugin. This could be any piano plugin. I have Addictive Keys, which if you have Focusrite Scarlett 2nd generation, then you might have this for free just sitting. So make sure you go and log in on the Focusrite website and just get this. But if not, there's Flex in FL Studio, which has a pretty good piano. There's obviously Keyscape, Omnisphere. What else? Any Contact libraries. You might have Expand, and Labs with the soft piano. Whoa. But yeah, anyway, what you want to do is you're gonna go in. I'm gonna go piano roll. You want to set your scale highlight, or yeah, just to minor natural scale. Any of them, doesn't matter. They all just sound the same, just higher or lower. And then what you want to do is pick a chord, the root note. When I press that, you're like, okay, that sounds hard. Press it like this. Boom. Then what you want to do is go down one note in the scale, so it goes like this, and then go down another note, so it goes like this. And then you want to just stack the notes, play one, skip one, play one, skip one in the scale, and it should sound a bit like this. And yeah, just make sure to set your tempo to 160, 150, so maybe like 180. That sort of tempo is pretty good for this type of beat, but I'm gonna stick with 160. So yeah, and then just drag this one out like this. So now it's this one. And it gives a lot of movement, so we can add some more finesse right here by pressing C for the cut tool and then holding shift and then right clicking, and it will just cut it here and cut it here. And yeah, so it gives a bit more movement, but it isn't like playing the full chord, so you know. And then you can add some more like this by just adding a little bit at the end, was to transition into this. So as you can see, the same notes are being played, so E and G, and then guess what? E and G. Collect these notes by holding shift and control and clicking on them, then hold shift, click on them, and then hold control and then down arrow to pitch them down an octave. And this just makes it sound a bit more thick. Oh yeah. And then the next thing you want to do is actually press control, select all of them, hold shift, click on them, and then hold shift again and then up arrow, and just make it so this one is B or the top note of the chord, and it'll sound like this. And I'm just gonna add some more passing notes in the chords just to add that more bounce, you know, get that bounce. And then yeah, you're basically good. You can add some more notes to make it more emotional. I just call it the 7th. I find that major 7ths are more emotional, so let's try it. So it's basically minor, major 7, major 7. And something that I found that sounds really good is when you really lower the velocity of a note and just make it so it's sort of like ghosting the key, and it just makes it sound way more emotional. Man, my throat is like mad bunged up with stuff. So what you want to do is clone it, and now we're gonna add a top melody. Before we do that, we're gonna press hold control, select the 4 bars of melody, and then just duplicate it out. So now we have a 8-bar loop. Now what you want to do is simply go here. You want to find some notes that sound good. For me, I like this sort of range. These notes sound really good and emotional for this type of beat, so we're gonna use them. don't need to do anything else. But something I do like to do is do this. So the notes sort of crescendo down. Melodies and beats. Even with 808s, a lot of people just slam the velocity, and that's good. But sometimes if you do like a passing note where the velocity is lower, it gives it more bounce. Yeah, so definitely think about that. There's a reason why every door has velocity, okay? There's a reason why. It's a good beat, emotional beat where the Genius interview, or no, not interview, the what's it called? The open mic, yeah. When you just imagine the Genius Rod Wave open mic for Heart on Ice. So now we're just gonna add some vocal chops. This is wavy now. We are done with the melody. Let's go. It's gonna pan the pianos to different ears, so the chords and the melody to different ears, just because just spreads it out, makes it more interesting. We're gonna add some reverb. Can add any reverb. I just like this reverb. Just make sure it's not too much. So I like to turn it to like 10-15%, because you want it to be clear, but you just want a little bit of room sound, really. Yeah. And then on the vocals, I'll add loads and some delay as well. I like this. These are the settings I usually use. Really copy if you want. And we're just gonna cut out a lot. Probably wanna cut out some of the low end. By the way, this low end is not really low end. That's like deep bass. You're only feeling that. You can't hear this, okay? Here is probably where you actually consider the bass to be, but it's more here. So we're just gonna cut out this and cut out here as well. Cut the frequencies that are gonna build up a lot and sort of get in the way of the drums, and then the vocals later when someone hops on the a little bit less. You want it to be subtle. You don't want to kill the sound. With EQ, always less is more, okay? But yeah, now we're gonna use my MIDI kit. So I've got a MIDI kit right here. You can check out link in description if you wanna get these exact MIDIs. Yeah, I'm just gonna use the pew pew hats. These are pretty good for this type of beat, Not too much, but not too boring either. Then a bounce clap MIDI. It just offsets the last clap. So like sort of in a drill beat. You get a snare, Uzi snare. Which is now we've got a percussion. And it's also open hat loop. Let's make an 808 pan, so let's go. What I did there was just follow the root notes of the chords. People say the bottom notes. It's not always the bottom notes, but for me it is. So you want it to be bouncy but not too intrusive, And I'm gonna click on the 808. Gonna shorten it, so it's a short 808, and I'm gonna EQ it, or it's the same as boost, but just more fine boost basically. With the velocities. If I just did this, it sounds alright, but I think this sounds better. It's more smooth, because you can like sort of feel it, you hear it, but you don't really like know it's there. As in, it's there, but you can't really hear it actually. I clicked on where the first one I wanted to be, which is the 808, which is on 10, and then press Control, Shift, and L, and it just routes them all to one after the other, like they are here. So 808, kick, clap, hi-hat, snare, open hats. And then I just made the kick and 808 in mono, because bass should be in mono, and I'm just gonna stereo separate out the things that have more high end in them, so they're more like separated in your ear. And then what you want to do is get a fruity limiter, boost the gain, EQ, just cut off some high and cut off some low, just a little bit. I basically put it in this preset, and then again cut out some low, boost this sort of bass region, and boost this as well. This makes sure that 808 and kick are punchy, and then delete some of the mid range, because that's where a lot of the vocal will be sitting. And then boost somewhere like 7k, because that's where the hi-hats are, and then just add a soft clipper at the end so it won't go above 0. And just bring these down until it sounds. Don't actually mix like that if you're actually trying to properly mix, but it works for me. So I'm just gonna use it. I'm not a mixing engineer. But then what I did there was go here and then split by channel, and just gonna organize these real quick. And that basically just gets it out in all in the single patterns. So everything is now is its own pattern, and what you want to do is just copy them out by holding Control and Shift, or you can just hold Control actually. And then using Control P to put it to the length you want. For me, it's 41. I found that it's a good length. Then just want to delete these and make the chords unique. The second chord's unique, and just delete all the bass notes that we added in, and that will remove the bass and give more room for everything else. Turn his vocals down a little bit. Then just arrange it where you delete some, you don't bring all the elements in at once, then you delete some out, and then you delete and bring them all back, and then delete them out, or just arrange it however you like. Doesn't really matter, but you know, this is basically the hook, and this is the verse, and then this can be the bridge when you copy it over like this. But I'm gonna add some rises just to transition the sections a little bit better, so you sort of get it sweeping between your ears, just to beef it up. And then add this short one to transition between more. And add a clap right here. And then so now we can talk about the arrangement a little bit more. So this is the intro, then hook, and then verse, and then bridge, or continue the verse, and then hook again, and then verse, you know what I mean. You can just copy this out. I like to copy it out to like 4 minutes, so it gives it enough time.